how can you what do you think is the best way that you would speak to a young person about the labor movement in a way that would get them interested in becoming involved in it and that would give them hope for something in their future? What can the labor movement do for folks like that, for your students?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I would be dishonest to not start by saying that I feel there's certainly days when it's really hard to access that feeling of hope. So I don't want to only sound like a cheerleader because it's real. The hopelessness can be real, but I also continue to be inspired by, again, looking back at history at people who have lived in much more difficult circumstances, or today people in other countries and parts of the world that are living in much more difficult circumstances, and feeling like, it's we always have the capacity and the power to be with one another in solidarity. And in fact, that is the survival strategy of the human race, right? The human race has survived through cooperation and working together. And so, first thing around mental health is I think the evidence is really clear that the more that we are in community with others, whether it's through a union or through a community organization, and even sometimes just showing up to a protest, it is good for our mental health because being around others is the first step. What unions do is, at their best, remind us that at the end of the day, there's always going to be problems. Unions aren't about like making those problems go away, but they're about finding a mechanism for us collectively to solve our problems together, to talk about what are the big challenges, how do we want to prioritize them, and what are solutions that work for the most of us. And maybe the solutions work for you this time and not the next time, but it's the practice of a real deep democracy and a deep collective response to collective problems. Um, the unions, many of them have become bureaucratized or um, anti-democratic. They're kind of maybe deal with those just boring, like the boring stuff, but they at their heart really they are a mechanism for us to operate together collectively. And if we were running the world ourselves, these are the things we would want to know. How do we run our workplaces? How do we set up our communities? What should our work life be? Like, should we work 5 days a week, 40 hours a week? Should it be flexible? Can we work from home? All of these big picture questions that, can get us really excited about life again, to imagine an alternative that's really different and imagine an alternative that works for many more people.